A compelling detective story, a cloak and dagger action, and a romantic drama, all these stories were taken from real life. The history of Kazakhstan is inseparable from the world history. Reflections on history, our version.
The Moon Princess. Only few things here remind us of her. Probably this Chinese scarf is the only thing which does. The country estate was reconstructed according to pictures and descriptions. After the revolution, houses were simply pulled down to get wood. A house was transformed into the House of Culture of a district center, and another one, which was in the Chok Karagai village, was transformed into a post office. Both buildings were burned down. It was said that the Khan's powerful wife protected the clan's nest. Anyway, people always talked a lot about her. She was an extraordinary person. She was tall, had a slender figure, and her fair skin was like egg white. Her big black eyes sparkled under the wonderful black eyelashes. Her bushy black brows emphasized her high forehead. Her elegant straight nose was a little bit upturned. Her hair, which she wore in braids, was very beautiful. Her braids looked like a wavy shawl, which made play of black colors. Aiganim, Oily Khan's wife, was a wise, beautiful, and very popular woman of her time. She played an important part in political events which occurred in the Middle Rus. Actually, a 30-year reign is a very long period. Chapter 1. A swan with the spotted breast. Her mother was Uzbek, the rich Khoja Sargaldak's second wife. People talked a lot about him. He became a famous scientist because his pursuit of 12 sciences was complete. They say he could predict people's futures, and his enigmatic speech could banish devils from the sky and tie up evil spirits on the land. In addition, he was very pious. Although he did not make his daughters wear yashmaks, other men were not allowed to look at them. Uli fell in love with her when he was 60 and she was just 16. He saw her by chance and couldn't be still after that. People said that Aiganim had the prophet's signs, which some of his descendants had. The girl had some special birthmarks. Her parents were proud because they thought that the birthmarks proved that their daughter was a saint. Everybody knew about Aiganim's secret. People started calling her the swan with spotted breast. She was a highly educated woman, fluent in quite a few foreign languages. She was literate because her father was a theologian. We can say that she finished the madrasa. Oily Khan came to Aiganim's father in order to solve some difficult questions, fell in love, sought the girl's hand in marriage, and she became his wife. However, there was one condition. She wanted to live in a separate residence. Oily Khan was in love with her and agreed to everything. In this way, the Khan's young wife immediately gained a privileged position, which the three older wives weren't very pleased with. In fact, Aiganim was a tokal, the fourth wife. It seems she didn't want to be this. She wanted to be the first, and it really happened. When she got married, she became the most important woman for Oily Khan. There was rivalry in the steppe. The youngest wife claimed to be the most important one. Of course, there was envy, the evil eye, and other troubles, but she knew about everything and managed to overcome these troubles. After the wedding ceremony, which was in 1805, Aiganim and Oily Khan moved to the young wife's homeland, which was the foot of the Sirimbet mountain. The elder wives remained in Kizilagash, not far away from Kokshetau. Chapter 2. Between Truth and Rumor. They spread a lot of nasty rumors about Aiganim. There was a reason why she surrounded herself with jigits, or brave young men. However, nobody could reprimand her for not commemorating her late husband. Every midday and evening she gathered young women for a year after his death. Their voices cut through the steppe, and Aigenim's rich sobbing voice was distinct. The choir sang Joktal, or a ritual farewell song. Uli Khan died in 1819. His eldest son, Gubaydullah, was supposed to be his heir, but was sent into exile. They claimed that it was due to his stepmother Aigenim's intrigues. The Khan's wife was 30 years old, and by that time she had held power in her hands for a while and was not going to share this power with anybody. She substituted the Khan as the ruler of that vast region for over 30 years. The Khan's wife, Aigenim, took care of the merit of the Balikanov's clan and used Uli Khan's seal. She did not follow the custom in accordance with which she had to give it to one of his sons. She was strong, powerful and attractive, so it was not surprising that rumors spread about her all her life. Sabit Mukanov wrote about one of them. Speransky and Aigenim had seen eye to eye for a long time. They said the widow did not long for her husband for very long. These words, which were a long way from the truth, still contained some elements of reality. Speransky was reserved, quite dry, and liked Aigenim. For the first time he saw an Eastern woman who was bright and exotic. In addition, she had a sly and agile mind. Mikhail Speransky was a reformer, lawmaker, and the closest associate of Alexander I, the Emperor of Russia. He was the Governor-General of Siberia from 1819 until 1821. Thanks to his initiative, the Khans lost their power in the Middle Rus. Kazakh lands were divided into regions ruled by senior sultans. In spite of these changes, Aigenim did not lose her status, which disappointed many people.
Aigenim сыграла определенную роль в создании той ситуации, которая...
Aigenim played a certain role in creating this situation which concerned one of Ablay's sons, Kenesari Kasimov's father. When Kasim showed that he was displeased with not being selected to be a senior sultan, she took quite an aggressive attitude. It was the reason why later she was blamed for not supporting Kenesari Kasimov's movement.
Показала достаточно жесткую позицию, почему и впоследствии будут где-то обвинять Aigenim в том, что она не поддерживала движение Кенесары Касымова.
Her aim was to be the first and achieve her aims for the sake of her family. Aigenim had 9 sons. Chingiz, the senior sultan of Aman Karagay, was the most clever of them. When he was 20, the Khan's wife sent him to Omsk to study. It's said that Speransky helped her. Chingiz was an adult, and first it was difficult for him to study. He even ran away from Omsk, but it was impossible to argue with his mother. This fragile woman shouldered great responsibility. In the steppe, which was her home, she had to be strong, patient, have willpower, courage, and show great character. She had to pass these qualities down to her children and grandchildren too.
Да, сильный характер, мужество, и передать это детям, внукам.
According to Sabit Mukanov, Chingiz decided to marry another girl, not the one chosen by Aigenim. The Khan's wife took a knife and said she would kill either him or herself. In this way, she forced him to marry Zeynep, who later gave birth to Chokan. Most probably, nobody will ever find out what is the truth and what is not in this story. She wasn't as nasty as it was shown in his work. She never created scandals. She danced at balls. Thus, her image was completely different.
Она танцевала на балах, понимаете? Вот. То есть совершенно другой образ был у нее.
As for the balls, it is said that Alexander I invited her personally, and the Khan's wife visited St. Petersburg. There she impressed another courtier, Vasily Perovsky. This information is according to another writer, Ilyas Yesenberlin. All the officers courted the Khan's beautiful wife, who appeared at the court unexpectedly and livened up their society. Her 70-year-old husband spent all the nights and days at the green table playing with old senators. Perovsky, a young brilliant officer, professed his love for her. Later, this former beauty of high society fought hard for her influence in the horde. Chapter 3, The Mistress of Destinies. You rode away from your home and insulted your father. You as a devil ran away from me. This is a scene showing the meeting of Eigenim and Shokan in the steppe. The play, Lyuba's Grove, is put on in Omsk Musical Theatre. It is based on another legend. Now Eigenim is trying to bring her grandson to reason. The story is about Shokan's first love. The major part of this story is fiction, and the Khan's wife's image is different. However, her image is very bright here. The actress Valentina Shershneva gets into the role. This is a very complicated role. Although, by means of only a few phrases, a few cracks or whip, and maybe the turning of a head, it creates the complete image of the woman.
Просто настолько рисуется цельный образ женщины.
It's a complete image of the woman, but who can feel the depths of her soul? Who can understand her? It's said that Eigenim liked music a lot and wrote poems. She could easily combine her poetry skills with the politician's practical ones and the ability to present herself. The Khan's wife got used to Russian bureaucracy and understood the power of the document, especially stamped papers. She received salaries from the treasury. If she had to go to Tobolsk or Omsk in order to go about her own business, which she considered the business of state, she demanded money for her journey. In Omsk, she met an official who she trusted. She was most probably like an actress. She played the part of a powerful, strong, and impressive woman. She was very courageous and purposeful.
Столько мужества в ней, целеустремленности.
She shaped her children and grandchildren's destinies as she found appropriate. Eigenim was the one who sent Shokan to a military school, although his mother was against it. The grandmother called Shokan Sparrow. He was her favorite grandson. Probably he was really outstanding in his childhood. He was a talented artist and a man of letters. This is Sirimbet drawn by Shokan. In 1822, Eigenim decided that she needed an estate and asked to build a country estate. The emperor complied with her request and issued a special decree. It included providing 5,000 previous rubles for Ualei Khan's widow, so that she could spend this money to build a country estate with a wooden fence around it. As a result, an architectural complex was constructed at the foot of Sirimbet mountain. It was an example of wooden architecture of the first half of the 19th century. It included a manor house, mosque, hotel, bathhouse, mill, and school, which had 5 rooms where children were taught music, drawing, science, and other subjects. Stones are put on this hill in such a way that they spelled Shokan's name. According to legend, Eigenim made little Shokan take stones to the second hill and write his name with them. She did it to help him love his homeland so that he didn't forget it.
Ханша Айганым сыграла огромную роль в его...
The Khan's wife played an important part in bringing him up and broadening his views. Little Shokan heard Kazakh legends about Bagharuz from his grandmother. She also told him about his famous great-grandfather Ablai.
Слышал рассказы о его знаменитом прадеде хане Аблае.
Incidentally, according to one version, Shokan was born in Sirimbet. He went to school and communicated with a lot of his grandmother's guests, including high-ranking ones. From early childhood, he showed great character and a quick mind. Epilogue, for the sake of the future. In the room, there's the organ playing up to 12 plays, bronze candelabras with crystals, and silk curtains trimmed with thin but wide ornaments hanging near the doors. Tashkent and Persian carpets cover the floor, and furniture is covered with tiger and snow leopard's furs. The room situated in the corner was the bedroom of Shokan's grandmother Eigenim. Her figure remained fine. She had mental clarity and acted powerfully until the end of her days. She died at the age of 70 in Sirimbet, the same place where she'd been born. People say that it happened during a Muslim prayer in November 1853. Her favorite grandson, Shokan, who was the only 18 at the time, had already been an aide-de-camp to the Governor-General. The Khan's wife did her best to shape her children and grandchildren's futures. Aigenim Valieva was the Moon Princess.